And I don't like people preaching that I am any part responsible for anything. I've never heard him criticised the disabled.
I never have.
OK? Never. OK? And you are a campaigner, yeah? I'm going to go back to the last question. Please let me finish.
Mate.
Stand. Stand for Parliament. If you're going to campaign, then stand. OK? OK, you have the media profile for it. Do it.
My problem would be, mate, I'd stand for Parliament, but I'd be scared that I'd become one of them. I know what side of the argument...
No, I'm sorry. You fought addiction. You fought addiction and you've beaten it, OK? You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
Mate,
You cannot preach that.
I'm not preaching. What I'm
Well,
saying
you
is...
are. You've attacked him, OK?
Yeah.
OK? And you've attacked him, and you've attacked everybody that stands for his party.
I do.
We're trying. I'm sorry.
I'm not attacking people
they are
that...
people on the street.
Rich and racist.
Oh, are they? Rubbish. Rubbish. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's the general public that are standing for him.
Trying to blame immigrants for the cutbacks because of his rich. Take a friend.
So, Brand, thanks very much. Let's take a question from the front row. Peter Hitchens, you had your hand up.
Before he goes, I'd like to ask the alleged comedian in the hat whether he... No, we've had a lot of him, and far too much for me, but he says he's not responsible for his own drug taking. Isn't the problem with the Western countries that we repeatedly say, oh, we're not responsible. When we take drugs, oh, we do it because we're made to. Somebody made me do it. When in fact, it's a pleasure that we seek. People do it because they want to. They do it for a pleasure. And then, as a result of the demand, which is quite rightly mentioned by the President of Colombia at the beginning of this, the demand which drives the supply, then ruin and murder and warfare and bloodshed and all the other evils descend on the countries which supply. It all comes from us. It comes from rich Western kids selfishly following their pleasures and creating a worldwide industry and a huge flow of money which is disastrous for the entire globe. And we don't ever address it.
Russell Brand, I'll let you have a quick right to reply. I think you were being called a selfish kid there.
He certainly is.
It's nice to receive your bigotry from another medium other than the hate rag, the Mail on Sunday, through which you normally peddle hatred, insular thought, lack of love between human beings. What I'm saying, mate,
have an argument for a moment, would you?
Whether or not I'm selfish or wearing a hat is redundant and irrelevant. These are the kind of personal attacks, the aggressive stance that you continually adopt to vilify people needlessly. Hey, what's next? Criminalise being a bit brown? Is that your next policy from the Mail on Sunday? We can't listen to people like you anymore. We're too involved as a species.
That's an idiotic slur. And I notice you don't actually answer my argument. Are you responsible for your actions, or are you not? Do you take drugs because you have to or because you want to?
In spite of what Margaret Thatcher said, there is such a thing as society. We are responsible for one another. If we treat people compassionately and with love, then people will benefit. People, of course, are responsible for their actions. You're responsible for writing for a bigoted newspaper.
Finish your joke, Russell Brand.
Are you responsible for your own actions?
OK, I'm going to move the debate on because there's a lot of people that we'd like to get questions from and responses.
Many, many young people in this country are being betrayed
What do you think we should do?
by a feeble government and a feeblest...
What do you think we should do, Peter?
I think we should enforce our law against illegal drugs.
More people in prison?
I don't want people in prison, no. I want people deterred from taking drugs,
How?
taking drugs which will ruin their lives by punishment.
How, though, mate? 'Cause I want that. I don't think people should take
you
drugs,
ask a question,
Peter.
you better listen to the answer. I want them deterred by effective policing. Listen to what I'm saying, you'll learn something.
I've heard it before, Peter.
Well, you plainly weren't listening that time either.
I don't even think you're ignorant. I just think you're innocent.
Effective policing.
You're like a peculiar child.
You see, ad hominem and interruption. Absolutely nothing remotely resembling reason, thought, or fact. And yet you are making a programme on drugs for the BBC, and I am not. And that is what is exactly what is wrong.
Let's bring in one of the people. Let's bring in one of the people who's in the